So that is why for the past month and a half I was stuck in the Solana Galaxy.
You could have
Oh, so
called me. I would have picked you up.
that's why you missed my party, man. I was heartbroken.
Yeah, no, I was heartbroken.
Yeah, how dare you
And
miss
and
the mid-season finale?
and yes, Bion, you're right. I could have called you. I didn't think of it at the time. Plus, my devices currently don't. What the hell happened there?
You fell in a pit. We all saw it.
All right. Well, as long as we all saw it.
I suppose you were looking for that damn fourth Chaos Emerald.
Oh, so that's where it is. I actually don't know how many Chaos Emeralds I currently have.
Can you imagine if Sonic lost one in his quills? Tails, I need help finding the Chaos Emerald. I think it's behind there. Behind where? And he just runs around in a circle.
Yeah, it's like just circles himself like a dog chasing its tail. Um, seriously though, so if anyone is wondering why, and granted, this is for the like two people who actually watch both the commentary channel and my actual review channel. If anyone's wondering why I hadn't posted in like a month or two, um, my laptop screen was broken.
Yep.
Yep. The squirrel sat on it.
Yep.
Yep. Your laptop was closed. The squirrel comes in. He says something like, "What was it you said, Sophie?"
I have no idea. Maybe I was just tired that day or something.
I will give Safi this amount of credit. He's fat, but I don't think he's that fat.
He's kind of that fat.
To be
Oh,
fair,
you kinda? No, you are stupid.
to be fair, I think enough pressure, just in general, doesn't matter how fat you are, enough pressure would probably break it. Sophie could literally be 10 pounds and probably would still break my laptop.
What
Unfortunately,
do you
as we all
do?
know,
What do you do?
unfortunately,
Use the laptop as a bed?
Uh, shut up.
I'm sorry. I love that I actually paused at a perfect time right after you said that. I don't know why I paused. Like, there's a lot of times where I'm sitting there, it's like, why did I pause the game?
Did you have an itch in your balls or something?
No. I bet you anything, like, most of the time you see me pause, and it's not just for this game, it's just in general. Most of the time you see me pause a game is probably I'm being called to do something, and I intend on editing it out, and by edited
Yes.
out, I basically edit from, like, 10 minutes to, like, 30 seconds.
We're gonna edit that one out. That's you.
Yeah, I'll edit
You
that out
say,
later.
and you never do.
I'll edit it out later.
Blasphemous.
Goes to editing software. I'm too lazy. Let's just add these two videos together and call it a night. Honestly, the only thing that saddens me with the exclusive skins that are downloadable content for this remaster, the only thing that saddens me is that they don't show up in cutscenes. Because it would have been cool to have the SA1 skin in that cutscene, for as blocky as it is.
I will say this. Say what you will about all of the stuff that Modern Sonic had, all the problems Modern Sonic had Like, it wasn't as good as the Dreamcast days. I've heard that one a bunch. Crush 40 is fucking goated.
Mm-hmm.
It,
Always
it
has been.
it does not matter which Sonic game it is. If there's a Crush 40 song in a Sonic game, no matter how bad it is, you know that song is still going to be a banger.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons why one of my favorite Sonic themes for the longest time, saddeningly enough, was His World from '06. Because His World is genuinely a badass song. Both versions, because there was a version not done by Crush 40, and there is a version done by Crush 40, and both versions are just badass songs. Although, I think my favorite Crush 40 song, which they did for this game, and it's not even no, they did for the console ports of the Sonic CD remaster. But Crush 40 actually did a ow. Crush 40 did a cover of Sonic Boom, and I love their cover of Sonic Boom. It's really good. Also, also, I want to bring up Sonic fans complaining about a Sonic game. It must be Sonic fans again. Like something I bring up in my Sonic Generations review is Sonic fans are some of the most petty the most petty fandom in the internet or on the internet.
Pretty much. I mean, did you see what we got to deal with?
And like I'm saying that as a Sonic fan. Sonic fans are fucking petty. But at the same time, it's like there are some times where it's like I understand certain fans' complaints, but at you have to take into account like sometimes Sonic fans will complain about literally fucking nothing. Like I don't understand Sonic fans' vitriol towards Ian Flynn's writing. Especially because it's like, oh, Ian Flynn just references past games. It's like, yeah, because he actually acknowledges shit from past games as opposed to the other writers who somehow forget things that happened between fucking games. It glares at the
I don't
you're
know, man. No one
glares
understands Sonic's fans. Not even
glare
Sonic fans.
glares at the you're that Sonic from another dimension line from Sonic Forces. You know, the game that canonically is just one game removed from Sonic Generations. I hate Forces.
You've brought back so much of the world.
Yay.
Yay!
You brought so much of the world, like
You're
Green
doing
Hill
great,
Zone
Sonic. You mean
and the
Green Hill
rest.
Zone!
right? I mean,
Green
you know
Hill
one other
Zone!
thing. Ah,
3D Green Hill Zone.
Green Hill Zone Remastered, Green Hill Zone and Knuckles, Green Hill Zone 2025.
Neo Green Hill Zone.
Ow.
did that emerald just scare off the monster? The Chaos Emerald's powers are miraculous, and we sure could use a miracle.
I'm
We need that emerald.
Okay, I'm gonna be
Your speed has been able to restore our friends.
going
I
back
think
to
we can restore
Sonic.
the Chaos Emerald
The
to
Sonic
full
fans
power,
complaining about
too.
things. That's one complaint that I
Since
can
I brought
kind
you
of get
double,
behind.
we're going to need all
Is
7 emeralds.
Sega always seems to bring back Green Hill Zone. It's like, guys,
You guys have
please,
your work cut out for you.
any stage but Green Hill Zone.
An adventure's no fun if it's too easy.
That's why I'm gonna get killed again.
I love the thrill of death.
Yeah, here's where we're really getting into the two Sonics partying together like they're buddies forever. Meanwhile, Shadow.
Meanwhile, Shao, can you see all of me?
All of
Walk
me.
into my mystery.
Step inside and hold on for dear life.
Glitchy, you're running out of time.
Nah,
Shoot
don't
it.
worry. Don't worry, I know what I'm
Shoot it
doing.
before I bonk you. Oh. Okay, I'll bonk you later.
Well, you
It's just your fucking bonk bat, and it has a sticker on it now that says "reserved for bonking glitch later."
Nah, it's just like a little sticky note. Note to self: bonk glitchy.
Anyway, but I love that meme when Shadow Generations was coming out, and it's like the irony is that that meme is pretty much exactly how the two sides of this game are. That being said, I love that they actually give Shadow a solo story that means a damn. Because the last time we had a we had shadow focused gameplay, and the story actually meant a damn was Sonic 06. And for anyone to ask, yes, I know there was Shadow DLC for Sonic Forces. It was 3 levels and could be completely skipped. The only reason that you get that DLC, other than the fact that it's completely free, is if I remember correctly, I think if you do that DLC, it does unlock the ability to play Shadow in any of the Sonic stages. But that's pretty much it. Like,
turns Shadow into a glorified palette swap.
yeah, which a lot of people were expecting that for the Shadow Generations half of this game, and I'm happy that they didn't go that way. I'm happy they actually they gave him new stages. They actually gave him a story. Though it is saddening, like they bring back Maria and Gerald for this, and despite the fact that Shadow Story actually means a damn, hilariously enough, Gerald and Robotnik don't really serve much to the story.
Aside from more trauma.
Yeah,
Yay!
outside of
Trauma!
either more trauma or yeah, no, they're here, and I as someone who is well versed in time travel lore, it's kind of they don't want like time travel lore. You don't want to screw up the past, but at the same time, like Shadow has at least a moment in the game where he contemplates telling them it's like he knows that it's a Maria and Gerald from before the attack on the space colony arc, and he debates actually telling them it's like, hey, this is what's going to happen, and he never does. In fact, I think Gerald himself says like, don't tell us because it could end up screwing up the timeline. It's like,
Ah, yes, the McDuck family rule.
to be fair, that's just a general time travel rule.
Well,
I forgot
sometimes
them.
it needs to be reinforced.
I actually, gonna be honest, for a second there, I genuinely forgot that was something that they brought up in the DuckTales reboot. Which is also just funny, because they have fucking David Tennant play Scrooge McDuck in that reboot, so of course they were gonna have a time travel reference in that series.
Well, I mean, you gotta.
Of course, you would roll out the red carpet for the best doctor.
I'm surprised they didn't make a Jessica Jones reference, though.
Hey,
Yes. Yes, I said that. He was so nice, they gave it to him twice.
you know what? You're right. You do roll out the red carpet for the best doctor. Unfortunately, Peter Capaldi wasn't in that series, to my knowledge.
Did I ever tell you guys the story that I met him once?
Who? Peter Capaldi?
Yeah.
By the way, my TARDIS rug basically fell apart.
Wah, wah.
That's disappointing.
I'm like, motherfucker, I had that for 10 years.
Also, it really sucks that the one Forces stage that they bring back for Xiao Generations is better than the entirety of Forces actually was. And something that I brought up because a lot of people I mentioned people were commenting on my joke video that made fun of Forces. Um, I don't think Forces is a terrible game. It's just forgettable. Like
Except
it
for the
is
character create. That's all we ever
the
remember it
the
for.
story is just bad. Like not even that the story is forgettable. The story itself is just bad. The gameplay itself, while the stages I don't think are terrible stages, they're stages you can finish in 30 seconds. So by the time you actually remember any of them, they're over. Yeah, the character creator is actually fun. And something that I would like
I
to see
do
a
want.
song.
Yeah, if we had a Sonic game based more around that.
We are getting a new Sonic game, which is Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which genuinely looked like fucking fun. Um, and they have some of the generic Avatar characters filling the background instead of just like not having NPCs. So a lot of the raceways actually have those characters. I would love, even though it's just a spinoff and it probably wouldn't even really mean much, I would love a character creator for that. It would be a nice touch. Essentially the equivalent of how Mario Kart lets you have your own Mii.
Yep.
Have a
Yes.
have a Sonic racing game let you create your own avatar. Like even if it doesn't affect your car's handling or anything. I want to play as my own custom character.
Yeah.
Also
Personally, the way I see
also
it
bring
is
in
that personalized
go-
custom characters
go ahead.
should be like flat, even, middle of the road on stats. Like the sheer bloody definition of jack of all trades, master of none. If we're
Yeah,
talking balance for that.
yeah. And
Yep.
the only other thing that I would ask for the new Sonic Racing game, especially because they already have added them in some of the mobile titles, bring in some of the comic characters. I want to play as fucking Whisper the Wolf in an official game.
We did discuss Sonic RPG's last recording session, and I wouldn't mind a
Freeze.
if we went kind of like either the Atlas or the Arc Systems route with a custom character as a protagonist, and we're exploring that character's we would explore that character's story.
Ultimate power. Yeah.
That way you feel it's not just a case of, oh, this is just a Sonic RPG. This is now a Sonic RPG with a character that 100% makes sense for it to be an RPG protagonist.
Well,
It is,
and I think if they go that route, for a Sonic RPG, which I would not mind, that for me would also mean having any of the Sonic characters, like main characters in the games, either be side characters or they're off doing their own thing. Essentially, like, okay, the events of this game take place during, say, Frontiers, when most of the cast is off. Most of the cast is off on the Starfire Isles.
I could work with. You could run with that and have it would be a good way to introduce a lot of the comic book characters, because RPGs have a lot of character stuff. it'd be a way to get video game players introduced to these characters and know a bit more about them.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, also I think like if you're a Sonic fan, just fucking read the IDW comics because they're genuinely fucking good.
Yeah, I didn't think I needed chaotic neutral Sonic until I read that comic.
Um, I still stand by the fact like one of the biggest reasons why I cannot fully hate Ian Flynn is um he gave us fucking Metal Virus Saga.
Ah, yes.
No!
The saga that I most remember for having Metal Sonic question is going through an
Your
existential
ultimate
crisis.
power.
Not
All
only
done
that, like
without any fucking dialogue.
it like just really well fucking written. Um, that and just in general being a pretty damn good family friendly zombie apocalypse, while also still being fucking terrifying.
Don't you just love creativity?
Yeah,
All right. This is the
yeah, I
ultimate
love
power.
creativity, which sucks because Sega like they're still under strict guidelines. A lot of people criticized how Shadow was characterized in the Melvire Saga, and I get it. Like the only reason that Shadow acted the way he did in the Melvire Saga
Yeah.
is solely down to Sega telling Ian Flynn like, no, Shadow specifically has to act this way. So Shadow
Yeah,
rushing
let a
in,
character be flexible. Jesus.
yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love the story of Shadow Generations because it's like, oh, they actually let him, they actually let Ian Flynn fucking cook. I mean, to be fair, Ian Flynn also wrote, also did the story for Frontiers, and uh, Frontier's story was all right. Although, because I was looking up Ian Flynn, I was looking up what Ian Flynn did with the Sonic franchise when I was working on, while I was working on my Sonic Generations review, and I didn't know this. He actually wrote an episode of the Sonic Boom TV series.
Huh. Neat.
Um, for anyone wondering which episode he wrote, it was the he wrote the episode that I don't remember the name of it, and I don't even remember seeing it myself, but it was the episode had Tails make a bet with Eggman that
A little busy. I'll be down when I can.
um jeez, I can't think of something. Tails and Eggman made a bet that Tails could actually capture Sonic better than Eggman can. In the YouTube re-upload, I'll have the I'll have the name of the episode.
In the description.
Well, no, I'll have it up like here. Like in the video itself, like in a small thing. But it is kind of interesting that like Ian Flynn hasn't just worked on the comics. Like he's worked on pretty much multiple different things for the franchise. Also, the thing flying around, like the three balloon thing holding the large canister. Shoot those down with your chaos spear. That's how you get the Gerald's Gerald Robotnik's journal. Which, for the record, that journal isn't very long. I am happy that you get a physical copy of it with the physical editions of the game, at least the day one editions. But the journal itself is like 20 something pages long. But it actually starts. So a character sends an email to Abraham Tower, and the last bit of that email, which is included in the journal, says, "Unfortunately, time and tragedy have not been kind to the journal. What you're holding now is all that remains of the original book." Um, kind of explaining, okay, we only have 20 pages. This is the story reason as to why this is all we have. And also, I think that's supposed to explain why there are certain things redacted. Like, for some reason, it redacts both Maria and Shadow's names, despite the fact that, like, diehard Sonic fans who picked up the journal already knew. It's like, we know it's Shadow, um we know it's Maria. Like, they redact the name of the Chaos Emeralds, or like the Master Emeralds and such, which is also kind of interesting.
It is a decision made of stupid.
Yep. Yep.
Although one of the more interesting factoids that we do learn with the one of the more interesting factoids that we get with the journal that we didn't know before is Gerald Robotnik had two sons. So, which is very obvious. Like, we know he at least had one son. He had one son, which would have been the father of Eggman. We didn't know that he had two sons, and funnily enough, those two sons both kind of went into the different fields that Gerald himself went into. Like, Gerald was interested in both archaeology and robotics, similar to Eggman. One of his sons went into robotics. One of them went into archaeology. We also find out that Maria had a sister, which would be
Deep
fun.
is this Eggman lore?
Yeah, like we're getting a lot of Eggman lore, and it's like, man, this is really cool. They'll probably never actually bring it up in the game itself, but it is cool that we have acknowledgement of some of this stuff. Anyway, that looks like it's the end of the part, so we will see you next time where we will talk more about hot Eggman lore.